Good evening. Don't know what happened. I figured it out. I figured the doggone thing out. Can you imagine? I figured it out. Religion, as it's stated in books, Holy Bible. They call this astrology. Everything in this book is astrology. From the beginning, Genesis means generation of Isis, or what Isis had produced, where it when mankind is formed, they talk about the atom, and the atom turns into a living organism, and that will be Eve, and who then bears children. It's all biology, astrology, but it's not real people. There are no real people in the Bible. The only real people that exists are you and me on this earth. Before I go on, I first would like to ask everybody watching, go and Google the picture of Leonardo da Vinci, The Last Supper, and then Google all the signs in astrology, starting with Aries up till, what's the last one? Scorpio, Pisces. The first person at the table, standing at the head of the table with his hand on the table, that's Aries. The more you continue on that line, because there's 12 people sitting at that table, and there's one woman. Let's say Leo. Leo is the most arrogant of, is it Leo? Yeah, Leo is the most arrogant of all, and he's the one with the only person with his hand on the table. No, that with his elbow on the table, which is actually a rude thing to do, but Leos don't care. Then you have that old man, the crabby Cancer, with his knife in his hands, like crabs have scissors. He has symbolically a knife in his hand, and his other hand is pointing towards the person next to him. Pointing that there is no Adam's apple on her throat. And that's the lady sitting a little sideways from the sun in the middle. And after the sun, you have all the other signs in the sky. Like Pisces is represented by two fish in the water, like this. And he's literally there's like one guy at the table, but the last guy at the table holds his hands like this. And there's the twins, Gemini. He holds his hands like this, meaning the Last Supper is just a picture. And Leonardo tried to, I don't know if he tried to tell us that, he at least sneaked all the symbols in. And the wine and the bread at the table, the Passover, it's like, when is harvest time? When do you harvest the wine? When do you make the bread? That's the only reason why those two ingredients are at the table. It has nothing to do with the Last Supper. Because the supper is every day. The sun rises every day and goes to bed, dies every night. Then he rises again. So every Last Supper, the evening, having dinner, is when you're supposed to remember him or praise him. But I'm just gonna leave you with that little fact, and then from there on you can go on and Google everything yourself. My eyes are tired. I've been studying this since I can't even remember when. I've been studying, schooling myself for years on end. I was highly spiritual until I turned 40, and I decided I would step into religion, and it was actually more like of a pull, being lonely, sad, longing for family, having no one around me, and I just needed a place to belong, you know. Um, I decided to step into church, and I got baptized. Didn't feel a thing. Nothing inside of me changed. It was like my body was like, what the F you doing? What then? It's cold, freezing. So I got baptized with my brothers in the water. And started on that journey. I actually got baptized in two churches. The first was a Sunday church. The second was a Hebrew Israelite. And I always had like a sense of something ain't right. Something is not right. Because first of all, they always have the tribes wrong. They always seem to forget that in Europe, the Jews, the Hebrews, were in Spain and in Portugal, and then were shipped back to West Africa. Santo Tomé and Príncipe is where my mother was born. But there's no mention of those two groups of islands. More like Caribbean and blah blah, and the Indians. It's bullshit. The only thing that's scattered are the stars. All the stars. And he knows all the stars by name. How many are numbered? Okay. I think this whole sham of religion is the biggest deception ever. All in order to cause the downfall of the female, because the world has been in such a disbalance since the men started to think that, oh, let's go and start ruling things and take over and make sure that really programmed for the fall of the woman. In the Bible, the first time women are called beautiful, but then that's also a negative thing to say, because that's what caused the angels to come down and fornicate with them so they could create the giants. So that was, this started wearing head coverings. Okay, good. So not to be too pretty, so no freaking angel would come down and start huffing and puffing on people and create like humongous beasts. What I think, the first creation story in the Bible, where us speaks about let us create them, let us create them, woman and man. The only person that is both woman and man is a woman. Woman, man. She has all the genetics to create everything. Men have actually 2.8% less DNA than women have. So then that's my first question. If Adam was real, how did God create Eve second, but made her more complete than Adam was? Because Adam can do shit. Okay. But then nobody's talking about Eve in the first creation. Skip a page. And then suddenly, God finds Adam to be lonely and figures out like he needs a helpmate. Because all the animals in the kingdom had females and males running around, and he was the only single person without companion. Now that's where I start. And I must admit, this didn't start like going off in my brain until like a week ago. And I was like, what is it? Because laws of nature, laws of, you cannot change, go against laws of nature. You cannot create a woman from a rib. You cannot create creation with just a man. So in there, I'll be like, if God had this all planned, he's all omnipotent, omni whatever, and he knows everything, but obviously he forgot to plan that little detail about how Adam became to be lonely. That emotion shouldn't even come up, because if you don't know what you don't have, you can't miss it. Well, okay, he was lonely. God probably saw him jacking off a couple of times. He was like, what's that? Oh, damn, he needs. But then what the F is God doing? Like, are you like doing everything on the go? Like you just walked into a kitchen trying to make an omelet, but you don't know how many eggs to use or where the eggs are. Should you add salt or not? It's like an experiment. It reads more like an experiment. Like, okay, wait. Hey, Adam just gave me an idea. Let me create women too. But then the fact was, the completion for mankind is complete in the woman, because with only Adam, nothing would have happened. You had to wait till one of the women was formed so that they could go on and continue on, have more children. So that was weird. But this first story is supposedly Lilith. Lilith was made at the same time from the dust of the earth with Adam, and they were equally, they were like soulmates, twin souls, soulmates. They were the same. But I don't know what happened in Adam's head. Maybe he had too much cyanide in his apple. I think it was a little twitch in him. And I think that the whole story was actually schemed and plotted to slowly introduce pedophilia into the world. Because there is, I think, was it? Is it? I know I shared that scripture not too long ago on my one of my Facebook posts. I'll go check it out and link it in the description box below. I think that Lilith left, and not because she had eaten some kind of weird fruit. I think she left him because he was messing with the kids, man. And she was like, oh, hell no. Something. Because then the story goes on that she, whatever. But every time they talk about women, like the only person that they speak highly and kindly about is Sarah and Esther and a couple of others. But all the other women, like the gross of the women, are all like condemned for being beautiful, for being smart, for being witty, for being talkative, for being, I think it's all just a scheme and a plot and a scam to introduce pedophilia into this world, and that goes hand in hand with adrenochrome. Because I think it's funny that the only begotten Son of God gets stripped bare naked, whipped, suffers immensely, blood dripping off. Did you see the movie Passion? Ugh. Then he gets crucified, then dies, goes back to the Father. He didn't do anything. He didn't solve anything. If you ask me, Jesus, when he was crucified, I mean, like the crucified version, I think he was being used by his father. I didn't think even in the last minute when he was hanging on the cross that, if he was hanging on the cross, because the people that believe in the Bible take everything literally, so you have to speak it as literally. I know that I don't believe it. It's bullcrap to me. Um, I think that slowly, that just those little, I can't grasp all the words right now because I'm going like through this spiritual transformation. I stepped out of church, got back to my higher self. I ditched a lot of bad habits. I think I just gained back maybe 15 years of my life. I weighed over 200 pounds in March, and I lost about 67. So that's good. I'm 42. We're good. But I think that's the whole plot and scheme. And astrology, I think it was astrology gives you a lot of insight and foresight, knowledge on how to act, how to behave, when to do certain things and when not to do certain things. Being evil is all in your head, in your mind. If I decided to be evil tomorrow and start robbing banks, that's just a choice I can make. But my choice every day is not to be evil. For example, just this morning I went to the market with my neighbor. She's a really nice lady, and we were buying some. I was buying some random stuff, and olives. I was buying olives. I love olives. And I already had given him the money, but I gave him 2 coins, two euro coins. So I gave him 4 euros in total. And while he's looking at me, because I was obviously like radiating and smiling, and everybody was like talking to me and greeting me and saying hi. I don't know most people, but I was in such a good mood, and I was like illuminated that people just looked at me. It's like when the sun comes out, everybody automatically looks at the sun, and the sun makes them happy. And everybody can have that effect on everybody. If you go outside and you're joyous, you shine your light, you share your light, you spread your light, people are gonna notice, they're gonna catch on, and they're gonna maybe go home feeling better about themselves than before, because somebody smiled at them, somebody said hi to them, acknowledged them. So I gave him the money, and he said something. And then he was trying to give me back my change, and he looks up and asks me, "Did you just give me 20 euros?" Because he was set on giving me the small change back, the change back, for like I had handed him 20 euros. But then he would have given me back like 16, and that would be a plus for me. Because I only gave him 4. He was only supposed to give me back 1 euro, and I'm looking at him like, dude. 20 euros? I just gave you the 4 euros in your hand, like coins. You don't know the difference between coins and a piece of paper. And he was looking at me like awestruck, like, oh my God. She's right. She gave me coins. She didn't give me money. I could have decided in that moment, because I knew I would have only had like 1 euro left on my entire bank account. I'm the richest girl in the world. You don't know how much love I have. So that would be an opportunity for me to say like, hey, I can trick this guy. He's already like set it up for me. All I have to do is, I gave you 20 euros. I gave you 20 euros. But I didn't. I'm honest like that. And a lot of people know me. People who have stores, maakt niet uit what, whatever. That was Dutch. I will always make sure that the people have their money, and I paid my money. And if it doesn't add up, I want my money back. But if I don't want to underpay somebody, because I know it's going to come out of maybe your child's mouth, the next month's bill for the rent, something's going to happen. But to be evil is just simply a decision. There's no devil whispering behind you. It's just you have to make that decision, willing to be compassionate, being lovable, being having integrity, taking care of your neighbors as I do. I think this purposely happened. Look at the women in what state we're in. We've been treated like trash. There's not a single religion where women are not spoken down on. You're not allowed to say shit in church. I mean, I'm a spoken word artist. I write poetry. I've been writing for 37 years now. I've been on TV. I've had my own radio show. I've even written in columns for newspaper articles. I won prizes with my voice, my speaking. The fact that I'm knowledgeable, intellect, been studying since I was 4. I was born in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. My parents are from Cape Verde. So, and then when I was 4, I started watching like Discovery Channel English speaking programs, and that's where I picked up that language. Just I enjoy studying. So by the time I was 6, I already spoke 3 languages and was writing poetry. Um, just for the sake of saving my life, because my pen and paper were the only 2 friends I had back then. Meaning I could express my pain and sorrow on them. I would write um, poetry speaking in metaphors because I didn't want to be found out if I wrote something bad about my dad because he beat me up, and I know my sisters, sisters, sisters. So that's what I do. Now I just turned 42 and decided to leave the church because I have seen more shit in church where people who are baptized been in the faith for more than 10 years, not knowing what the F they are doing. All they say, we are the truth, and they are lying. We are the truth. But doesn't matter what church you go to, you cannot be the truth. You simply are. I am. You are. Whatever comes after means nothing. You simply are in the moment. Your soul, you are here to experience this life and do something positive for mankind. But that's not the game anymore. The game is wickedness. The game is defiling our children. And I think that happened when people started falling off astrology, pure, ancient, knowledge of how the world was created. Stars and suns and moons and planets and whatnot were made. We were supposed to know the stars, as above, so below. As above, so below. How can you not? As above in the stars, so is it below with the people. I'm a Cancer. And I fit exactly the description of what a Cancer crab should be like. I'm warm, I'm loving, I'm caring, I'm a motherly type. It's all there. I didn't find that out in the Bible. Astrology is the purest form of you getting to know yourself, to get to the Father, to get to your being up in here. Because the head is Aries, is in the head at the table. At the feet, Pisces, slippery fish. Can't stand on land. The crab can. I can swim in the water and I can go sideways up on land. Can you believe it? Everybody needs to close every mother effing church, synagogue. I'm not gonna be careful. My name is some religious. I'm not trying to finna be chop my head off in the morning. See, it's all astrology. The 12 apostles, astrology. You know, even when in the Bible where the Most High describes the gifts and talents, like the blessings he bestows on his sons, like the 12 tribes, each of them. Like you have the Gad, the Benjamins, the Levites. He's actually literally describing upon them the traits that the signs have. The traits that the signs have in combinations with the planets surrounding Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Venus. Yeah, Venus is also. It's really though. It's all a sham. I cannot believe millions of people have died because of religion. Because what religion does when you get baptized, at least I know that for sure, in the Christian side of things and the Hebrew Israelite side of things. Once you get baptized, you're supposed to release all the fear because actually you die and get resurrected. And then you live in the name of Christ, and you will never fear dying because dying eventually would mean you did something good for Jesus because he died for you. So it's actually basically suicide. So you're not even living for yourself anymore. You're not fulfilling your highest purpose. You're not doing anything to better the world. And in my understanding, if you do not enlighten yourself, train your mind to grow spiritually, your mind stays in that childlike state, that unconscious, I wouldn't say unconscious, but childlike state that really, there are people who act like they really don't know that they are adults. They're supposed to lift themselves up. And I think that's where the disease started happening because there is no knowledge. If there's no knowledge in here, you die. You will surely die. You will descend into all kinds of, I can't even say the words. It's like low-level living. And you just end up in some kind of darkness. And low-level living will never bring this world anything. It's all wars, killings, rapings, child abuse, child trafficking, human trafficking. I mean, those are not things that we should be doing. But are things that are written in here. God sends brothers against each other to kill each other's wives and take their children, kill their children, and keep the children like the women children that have not been with man before, that they could get to keep those children and use as little sex slaves. That's all in the Bible. But you know what this means? Holy is son, and this is book. The holy book of the sun, not the sun that was begotten, the sun that is up in the sky, in the universe, shining in a bright light, making sure I get my vitamin D every day. Well, I shouldn't have said it like that, because I do not get vitamin D every day. Been a while. Yeah, I'm up here. I don't feel it down there. I use my to flow upwards and spike the brain, be awakened. Use my insight. Use the knowledge. I listen to my ancestors. I watch nature. I listen to Mother Nature. I can smell them around me. Because I'm so aware of my surroundings and people around me that I cannot just live for myself. I live by myself, but I can't live for myself. I have to do good deeds. Take care of people. I love my neighbor like I love myself. I live next to a little old lady. She's the cutest ever. She's 83 years old. We both live ground floor. She lives on number 1, I live on number 3. And like maybe let's say 3 times a week, I'll cook for myself. And I don't ask her for any payment. But just to make sure that she's okay, that I know that she has just as full a stomach as I have, that she can go to bed feeling, with strength. 83, I'm 42 years old. I can't imagine being 83 right now. But I see the change in her. She was really weak in the beginning. I see the change in her. So I actually do love my neighbor as I love myself, because as I look out for her, I look out for me. And this has automatically brought in gifts that really prolong my life, because now other neighbors caught on, saw me doing nice deeds for my neighbors, and now they're bringing me fruits. I have a neighbor. She brings me like a big ass bag of fruits. If you see there on the trolley, the white right here, I bought the bananas, but underneath the bananas, there's like 5 big ass avocados, and I love me some avocados. And I'm about to be on my period, and I love avocados because they're good for your womb. They look like a womb, because as above said below, He made everything the same. And avocados look like a womb, so that you know that they're good for the womb.